Dear friends, glad to meet you all on Feygin Live. It is Monday, August 15th. Time is 2 minutes past 10 Kiev time. We're doing another stream on Feygin Live channel with Olexiy Arestovich. Day 173, privateer station, translating that in English. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mark, dear viewers, everybody else. Over 140,000 watching us live, over 30,000 clicked the like button. That's a good beginning for Monday. Alright, let's see what happened during your absence on Sunday. I feel myself like I'm on duty at the military academy. Dear Captain, let me report what happened during your absence. Right, something like that. Okay, Kharkov continues. They keep shelling the city and the region. Direction from Izum towards Slavyansk. They attempting some motion, have no success. Near Seversk, they are trying to reinforce the group next to Seversk. They do want to get it, and according to some data, we even have information that additional group beyond Yampol on the other side, deeper on the occupied territory, came to move. They have about 8 battalion tactical groups, and they want to move them closer. But I will tell they will not succeed. Bakhmut direction, they're still trying to storm us there, trying to move to the north and to the south, and got some serious blowback today. I'm not emphasizing the exact location, but that really made them sad and they had to fall back. They're also pushing towards Zaitsev a bit lower down, but that all needs verification because situation is changing and we cannot ascribe it to the big tactical change yet. Near Avdiivka, they tried a bit and no success. Pesky, partly we own them, partly they have it. So yesterday's 8th report about full capture of Pesky was a bit premature on the Russian side. Marinka, we're still holding the positions, nothing is working for our foe. And let's go take a look at Kherson direction. The usual HIMARS is low flying and landing on their heads. And now, according to some preliminary data that need more verification, a Russian general was among the ones hit today as a result of an artillery strike in Kherson area. Just need to verify that. So, things like that. That's what's going on. Alright, let's talk about that hit in Popasnaya. There was a rumor that Prigozhin got killed. No, we figured it was a fake. The information would have flown differently even if he was endangered or hit. But in general, did you guys hit Popasnaya? Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. One of their military correspondents made a big mistake doing a video with the house number and everything. And high-ranking Russian officers and leaders. So did anyone verify his picture? That idiocy that he actually did take the picture in front of the location? Yeah. You know, things happen. He probably posted something, could not remove it on time. It stayed long enough on the social media, so our people can trace it. And we hit them. It's a dangerous profession, military correspondent. First thing you need to think is do no harm to your people. Yeah, right. Now he's probably getting a special reward by his command after this incident. How many did you hit? We think at least 20 different in that location, 20 officers. So, do you think Prigozhin really goes to the front line? According to data, he did come to provide moral support to the troops. So that's definitely a sign that they have issues in that direction. Because leaders usually go where A, it's an important direction, B, where it needs more support. They recently were complaining, remember, those posts that they cannot succeed, that Stoneflower is not coming out, as in the fairy tale. So, yeah. Do you think he's being asked, Prigozhin is being asked by Putin in command where the success is that you promised us? You signed for that, go do help him? Yeah, there is that probability as well. Alright, that's a good notion. We have about 300,000 who joined our stream. Let's talk about referendum. That's Streamosov or whatever, who's their fake leader down there in Zaporozhye. According to data, it may happen on the 11th, maybe not going to happen. So our officials already made a statement that this is a tool to affect negotiations. What I'm trying to bring to people's understanding that Russia is pushing at the top level from Putin himself, sending emissaries to the West, trying to come to some agreement. Let's sit down and discuss, because it's really kind of going the wrong way. We cannot lose that war. If Putin gets dethroned, imagine who will rule. Maybe worse fascists will rule Russia. Why do you need that? So let's push Ukraine to the negotiation table. And they're being shown the red lines. Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, for example. Why did Shoigu, Russian head of command, military command, was talking to the United Nations secretary? Shoigu was running away from that conversation for a while, and they were talking about that and about Yelenovka and other uncomfortable things. Now, referendum dates are moving because they're creating additional slack to use it or keep using it after certain dates if need be for negotiations leverage. According to some data, well, in March they were trying to reach out to Istanbul to get us at the table in Istanbul. They were kind of voicing it actually that they are ready to withdraw to the borders pre-February. Well, you know, they're cunning like that. Mark, we were not asking for these negotiations. They were looking for it. Now we are absolutely not looking to negotiate with them, but they are pursuing negotiations. So we know who told you that. We know who was on your pictures today hugging. You got the data that they actually want to withdraw back to the previous borders. Well, Mark, here's the thing. I almost never get high-level secret information. I'm not full staff, so I got limitations to what can be shown to me officially. So I am drawing conclusions from the information that I see, and I acquire it via other methods. And they're also very often concealing certain things from me, just in case, just to be sure, you know, because I am a public figure and I do talk a lot. So my deductions very often are my deductions. The other thing is that they're accurate, but so why not to push the negotiation option further? Why don't they withdraw it first and then sit down? Yeah, that's an option, but also speaking of data, that's how I acquire it. You also can gather information by calling fire upon yourself, and you can see what is flying, where is it flying from, who is attacking you. So this is exactly how that I learned, not from the members of the delegation I was with, but by other channels and other means, that is exactly what was offered, that Russia is considering withdrawing back to February. So, let me impress upon you this. I don't think referendum is a good thing for you guys to look at. Because besides the referendum date shifts, they also are doing everything to show that this land is theirs. They're switching it to rubles, they're switching power structures to Russian style. They're trying to impress that this is their land now, on the locals. Well, that's the thing. One thing is what they do locally, another thing is what they do up discussing with us, and then they can always pedal back that. They can say that, hey, it's local military command that decided to implement ruble or do this and that, and then Medvedev did not agree with anybody and went there to support that. And we tried to stop them, but we could not stop them. And that's why they came out and did those mistakes. Well, we will fire Medvedev, for example, or Saldo will disappear, and he drinks poisonous substances. So we'll correct that if you need that. Kherson, yeah, we're joking. Correspondents can... It was just imagination of military correspondents. Government politics is a goodwill gesture. We're withdrawing to the state pre-23rd of February. Did we demilitarize? Yeah, we did. We can withdraw now. The goals of special operations are complete. So that's how they can play it, actually. So, but, okay, how do you sell it to the internal audience? I actually dictated that back in the day. How can they peddle it back publicly? That's what they can say. Look, Ukraine did not join NATO. This is our achievement. What else? Ukraine is not in European Union. This is also our achievement. Candidacy, that's a long story. What else? Did we demilitarize? Oh yeah, here's a huge list of damaged Ukrainian equipment, destroyed airplanes, and... Look, Ukraine started with 100 airplanes and we destroyed 560. That's demilitarization. They had 700 tanks, we destroyed 1,600 of them. What, do you want us to capture territory? We don't need that. Russia is a self-sufficient country. We needed to liquidate the fire that we saw there, and Azov is imprisoned. So all the tasks are achieved. We destroyed all their nationalistic battalions. What else do you want? You did not want to capture Ukraine, right? 21st century, we cannot just annex territories. And the rest was just propaganda talks, media people, everything is more delicate. So they can sell it this way, if they want to, or if they have to. They can also lean on the West and say, see, we forced Ukraine to negotiate. First, we discovered the way to settle the grain conflict in the sea, and then we managed Ukraine to stop shelling the nuclear power station. We forced Ukraine government to pedal back, to be less nationalistic. And Ukrainian people will give a proper judgment to Zelensky and his team, who caused all that damage and grief on the people. And we're still Russian strong, and Olexiy is verbalizing the Soviet Union anthem. Yeah, don't. They'll accuse us in support of Soviet Union. All right, 361,000 are listening to your recital and clicking like buttons. Thank you, dear friends, for doing it. Please make sure you also subscribe. Do not forget to click that button, as there's only half of you watching us with a subscription. You're pretty stubborn. Same thing with Arestovych. Please subscribe to his channel again. There's a link downstairs. And if you are watching that in English, please subscribe to the Privateer station. That does help to distribute that video to more viewers. That will make us happy. All right, let's talk about Zaporozhye and nuclear power plant. Shoigu talked to Gutierrez today. Same data. Russians are saying the Ukrainian side is continuously shooting towards the station. As I see, they did not agree to MAGATE nuclear inspection from United Nations, they'll be working that matter. Well, they can be working it forever. It's obvious they don't want to let anyone from the outside, any foreign eyes, to any of these objects, because I guess they can verify that the shelling was internal, was Russian-made. You know what, they actually could even let them in. It's a matter of the question of how, when, and what is allowed to be seen. Oh, they're still figuring out how to get Red Cross to Yelenivka. They have not done that yet. Well, yes, because this is a card for negotiations. They need to talk, they need to create reasons for other people to talk to them. Their feeling of self-importance is inflating when that happens. And also, while you're talking, while you're negotiating, this is a controlled process. Then all of a sudden the West will not smash you with a nuclear missile on the presidential bunker, or Ukraine will not get some super weapon or aircraft carrier. So they need negotiations as the process. They do get certain influence because negotiations is a multi-sided process often. And they can also voice that please do not supply ATACMS missiles to Ukraine for HIMARS. So this is just another lever to potentially control things. And negotiations is a generally strong method to control the situation. All right. We'll continue monitoring that situation around the nuclear station, because it is weird. It kind of goes up on the radar, it goes off the radar. So that perspective that they can still do something there. Yeah. They cannot keep it on the radar all the time, because nuclear blackmail in the modern world, that's a bad story. And although there is some irony now to their general behavior in this matter, it is still qualified as nuclear blackmail, nuclear threats. So these things need to be monitored carefully. Okay, did you see Putin made a bunch of statements today? One is more peculiar than the other. He is against reviewing history. He's going to fight with Nazis and Russian phobia. He also mentioned that some interesting allies going to do military training with them, as far as even African countries, on some joint exercises. How far do you think they're falling down in their foreign politics, that this is their target audience now? Well, one needs to understand those countries who do recognize Russia at this point, they do not do it for nothing. So Russia is talking, negotiating with them for certain reasons. There's definitely a quid pro quo there. So there is a bunch of regimes similar to his that are really not too welcome, and they do get together and they do certain actions or exchange treaties or exchange goods and services. The other thing is, when they do these trainings, a side observer can make a lot of conclusions about the quality of troops and what can they do, their capabilities. Very often there's a lot of intelligence people at these meetings. So it's sort of an intelligence conference, so to say. But yeah, when you're isolated, you're looking for other countries who are somewhat isolated, or who at least could welcome you and communicate with you. Used to be one of the top countries, and now they're designated to the third, fourth tier. And again, Putin doing these statements, making these statements on TV, is basically directing public opinion to certain topics. These subjects need to be important to get into the president's speech. So here they did need to draw attention that they still have allies. For example, we're training with the whole army of Tajikistan. Not to denigrate Tajikistan, but yeah, their position is America is threatening American pilots retire and American ships sink even without getting to port from the horror of what they see at our exercises. So it's their PR, it's their propaganda. We do respect Tajikistan and its army, but it's more about the contest, right? We understand this is done not for Tajikistan, this is done absolutely for the internal audience and the picture showing some activity around the son of Vladimir Putin. Yeah, the king in interior infers. All right, another question. We touched upon it when it was anniversary in July. Netherlands court said on the 17th of November they will make a verdict about the civilian airplane shot by Russian anti-air system a few years back. So let's discuss that. They shot it down consciously. It's not even a question that Russian servicemen disguised as Donetsk People's Republic anti-air gang on the Russian equipment. That is without saying, that's not even discussed. The question was it done purposely, or did they target military transport, Ukrainian military transport plane? And during June, July, they actually did shoot a few Ukrainian military air vessels, and some of the soldiers died in a few of those crashes. So we hope that there'll be a final verdict in this case. That court likely will have the final say in this, but, you know, independent free court usually puts these matters to rest because they do have access to all matters of proof, all information that was gathered. So its opinion has a high authority. And this is not just stories, points of view. This is a legal conclusion on a very high level that only a court can provide. So, in your view, does it indeed put the matter to rest that it does not, first of all, it doesn't diminish Russia's responsibility for shooting down the Boeing, and those people who were personally involved in that crime, we know their names. Those are 5 people, and among them is that man who shaved their mustache. We talked about him yesterday, who was detained when he tried to get to Kherson front, and as far as I know, he was not let through, so he probably returned back to Crimea. So all that, what do you think about the story? Mark, this is a difficult question. Just looking at the accused, at the list of accused, one can tell that this decision is a compromise. Because to transfer such an anti-air system across the border of Russia and Ukraine, first one needs to give an order to the border guards to open the border, and then for the military to actually take that unit and send it across the border. These are 2 separate agencies. This is border guards and Ministry of Defense. Now, question, who can give an order to both of them? So the matter is, yeah, could Putin have done it, and did he do that? This is a procedural question, Olexiy. There may be another court after this one. I hope to God, because right now it's Girkin and those hands that were there. Girkin, he cannot shoot from that. Bulatov and Dubinsky. So how it was organized? One complex, one The shooting vehicle came through the border, and the other station that can control several vehicles, it stayed on the territory of Russian Federation. So this vehicle was looking for somewhat a high altitude or higher altitude location, and it started to locate different targets. And now attention, these guys, anti-air rocketry people, they train on the local targets. If they're sitting in a certain location for a week, tracing all the targets flying by, you never, ever will mistake civilian target for a military target, because the character of motion, the corridor they're flying, a lot of other parameters, they're very different. And it's a whole story. And also the order of events that need to happen to shoot it down, because also the difference would be in a system response. Friendly or foe will be different between the military and the civilian ships. So that system also works in a way that a commander to launch a missile would need to make 5 at least decisions to actually shoot the target. So he needs to make that flawed decision at least 5 times, overriding and making the crew to confirm the shot. So it's not that they were scared and panicked and hit the button. They understood the target they were shooting at. So you think they wanted to shoot down the civilian plane? I would say it's 70 to 30 probability. I can maybe consider that Russian brigade that was thrown from Kursk deep inside Ukrainian territory were somewhat stressed, and they were expecting diversion or feared for their lives on the front line or something like that. I can accept maybe that was a stress factor, but still, most likely they were aware of the target they were shooting at. Well, from the legal standpoint, it still matters that they did want to shoot an airplane. I want to say it's a similar story to what they did in Iran. Remember when they shot our Boeing with Tor? When they shot a civilian plane in the airport zone. Although in Iran, I think that was an incident on the level of the commander, because he did not shoot Airbus, but that flew right before our plane. But then he sees Boeing flying on his radar, and that was the night when Americans used missiles on their targets in Iran. So I think the commander wanted just to shoot an American plane, and it turned out to be a Ukrainian flight. He's an idiot. Yeah, he wasn't really tracing what exactly is flying. Although, actually, they do have schedules of all the civilian planes, so that's the whole other story. So the probability, 70 is that they knew what they were shooting, 30 is that they were a little skittish and the circumstance forced them. But again, the executors, they were not the ones who randomly left Kursk and got into the neighbor country and took that position and decided to shoot down the plane. It was not these executors who made that decision. So you understand that the court has all the information about the case, right? I don't have the details about the information that they have. It is kind of known in general, yes. What I was following, and by the list of accused, I can say that this is a compromised decision. What will the investigation, what will the accusing side bring to the court, we'll see. But although I do believe in the democratic independent Western system, when there is politics of such a caliber, I am somewhat doubtful that they actually will bring Putin and his name to the list of accused. We remember the Lockerbie case, right? For 10 years it was investigated one way or another, and they waited for the most opportune moment to include Gaddafi as a terrorist. And initially he was not accused. He actually paid money to the families, and they eventually added his name when it became of a lesser liability. So we'll see what will happen. What will happen to that case? I'm not impressed because to imagine that Girkin gave an order for that system to move across the border and come shoot the plane, that is not serious. Yeah, Girkin called Russian anti-air system and said, hey guys, mount the vehicle and come over to Ukraine. Well, that matter will be somehow resolved in the motivational part. Technically, it's two different orgs in Russia. Imagine border guards standing on the border with Russia and Ukraine. Russian border guards, Russian anti-air systems comes to the border and talk to them. Guys, let us in. Let us sneak through. So who can give this order? Who can allow that situation to happen? I don't see that person on the list of accused. I have no doubts that Russian Federation will be made responsible for that accident as a country. It will be presumed in one way or another. So there was another information today about the military pilot, Anton Listopad, who is considered to be one of the best pilots. He was the pilot of the year in 2019. He was liquidated by a special Russian operation, one of the Ukrainian publications posts today. Well, first of all, he died defending his country. Well, Russian resources claiming it's special operation. I don't know what military has confirmed that, but local powers did confirm that he perished defending his country. So does it mean that somebody assassinated him, or no? I think he's a pilot. He probably died in a fight, very likely during the attack on the Russian positions, since they're not flying to our territory. We're not engaging them for a long time already. So he died honorably as an officer defending his territory. Probably can honor his memory with a minute of silence. Yep, war is war. So there were a lot of questions. Remember, people were asking about the story with the ghost of Kiev. I think it was one of the first, maybe day 10 or day 20. You actually said that in the group of pilots, there is a ghost, indeed. So is it a mythical creature or is it a real person? This is a combined figure from two brigades that were protecting Kiev. So they were hiding names, right, and creating that mythology. Well, it's the beginning of war. It's a really bad story to provide names of military pilots to the press, because you never know. They could have relatives living in the occupied territories. That would be a really bad move. So, of course, we were hiding their names, identities, and then very quickly the military confirmed that this is a group image. This is not a single fighter. But we do have pilots who shot down several Russian planes. Yep, we do have those. All right. We've been live for 34 minutes. 424,000 watching us live. Over 140,000 click the like button. Again, reminding our viewers, please share links to that stream in your social media and your groups. Make sure those who need to see that, see that. Subscribe to Feigin Live, to Olexiy Arestovych, and to the Privateer Station if you are watching that in English. There are links in the description of that video to all of the parties involved. Alright, so we do have a stream tomorrow, right? and we'll continue discussing remaining matters and the new ones that may arise. I remind you all once again that we continue our charity action with the merchandise. We have a next set of designs coming soon. They'll be added to all stores, to American, European, and Ukrainian. And we'll try to distribute the money we aggregated this week. We are getting a lot of requests. We're just trying to verify a lot of things. Don't think we're slowing it down. Just we don't have a whole other system to verify recipients, and it takes us a bit of effort to find the exact person. We cannot just transfer money to some card that somebody published. We need to verify whose card is that, who the person is. We need to have some minimal data and realize who is getting it. Like in a bank, know your client. Some people are asking to support this and that, but we need to verify. Sorry, it takes some time. And also, very often relatives are in difficult relations between each other, especially in the monetary matters. Yeah, I will not comment with names, but we had issues like that. So we're trying to make sure the money reach the proper recipient, because yeah, it can be a difficult subject. One thing is when you transfer money to an adult who is wounded, and another is when it's a child, and you need to pick the right of his relatives who is taking care, who is a caretaker, to not find yourself in a difficult situation. So I do hope that this week we will have 5 families who will get our support. All right, we are waiting for you. Tomorrow, 10 p.m., we'll have more streams on Feygin. Do not miss that one. It'll be worthy of your attention. And as always, Olexiy is the limelight of my channel. See you at 10 p.m. Kiev time with Olexiy Arestovich. See you, Olexiy. Goodbye.